Okay, good day everybody. Mike here. Time for another try at some YouTubing. I'd like to show you another little product that I have that I'm about to start experimenting with, called Convert-a-pell. These things are available, well, they were available. I don't think they're in production anymore. Anyway, they were made in Santa Rosa, California at one time, and a few years ago I did seem to connect on the website, but I don't think they're around anymore. It's basically a modified 223 case. Modified to accept 209 shotgun primers. Right there in the back where the regular primer would go. Anyway, at one time they made these in 22 Hornet, which used a large rifle primer. And then shotgun primers were made in 221 Fireball, 222, 223, 22 250, 225, 220 Swift. And it's a really simple little adapter to shoot regular 22 caliber airgun pellets. Right there. There's a couple of little features about it though that are kind of interesting. There's one little dimple right here in the bottom of the neck, and that is apparently to prevent the pellet from being pushed too far into the case. And then on the back of the case, they've obviously machined this out to the correct size and put a little bit of a bevel on it. And then you probably can't see it, but right in here, there's a small little O-ring. And that O-ring serves only one purpose that I can think of, and that's to keep the primer from falling out. Now I don't want to push this all the way in because I had to use a knife in order to get it back out again. But you basically just push it in by hand. And then stick your pellet in front like this and chamber it and fire. And the advertised velocity on this thing, let's see, there's a kind of a little instruction sheet. Lock 11 Industries, I guess, was the name of the company that was making them. Anyway, their little FAQ sheet they have here. Average velocity 875 to 910. 209 primers. They recommend a Benjamin HC 22 caliber pellet. Will shoot through a 3/4 inch pine board. Groups under 1 inch at 20 yards. Less noise than an air gun. And they say no, do not resize the brass or you will ruin it. Yes, apparently it will take small game. No powder, just primer. So I haven't shot this one yet, however I will here sometime shortly. Unfortunately, we're getting into summer when most shooting ranges are picking up speed. We are actually getting ready for a big shutdown due to fire season. So once fire season hits, the range will be shut down for, well, probably until 2 or 3 weeks after hunting season opens up. Anyway, these pellets, let's see, we got 14.4 grains. Got a different style here, 15.4, and then I also have some buckshot, which I've been kind of experimenting with as well. This is 249 thou, so that's number 3 buckshot, which is really difficult to get. So that could probably be sized down, as well as number 4 buckshot, I guess. And this is an example of I think this was a double-aught buckshot pellet that was sized through multiple different stages in order to shoot in a 243, which I have yet to do. There's a few other little intricacies I want to work out first. Anyway, this is an example of what pellets look like when they go through the different stages of sizing them, starting off with the round one, first sizing, second, third, fourth, all the way down the line until you get to in this particular case, a 244 caliber. However, I could use smaller buckshot pellets like those ones and size for 223. Now, originally I had planned on maybe making some of these adapters, and I don't think it would be that hard if a person had the right equipment. However, I just tried to make some just for fun by clamping a case between a couple of pieces of wood and drilling it out. Now, I used this drill bit, which was recommended in another YouTube video, in order to modify brass shotgun shells so they could use 209 primers, and this is 15/64, which comes in at about 232.5. Now, these CCI shotgun primers come in around 240. So this doesn't really work very well. There's about 8 thou of interference to use this particular brand of primer. Now, if somebody happens to know a brand of primer that's generally smaller than these ones, then maybe you can throw that in the comments or something like that. Anyway, I just chucked this up in a piece of wood, drilled it out, and unfortunately, just using a hand drill, it ends up being a really rough hole. Not even close to really being able to get a primer in there easily. And then the brass, as you can see, you know, it spins so much, and you have to clamp. I had to clamp it so tight that I basically crushed my my test piece. If a person had a small lathe or maybe a piece of wood that was drilled out to the proper size so that you could get a really good friction fit, then it might be easier to do. Of course, with a drill press as well. And then you would want to use a larger drill bit to chamfer the edge to take care of this part of the primer. Now, I've also kind of thought about possibly doing the same thing with the 22 pellet and just trying a like a Magnum small rifle primer. I'm not sure how much more powerful or less powerful the shotgun primers are in comparison to that. And wrapping it up in a piece of leather before I clamped it did absolutely no good at all. It just spins and spins and spins, and you'll get a whack of shavings. This is just a few that I picked up. This is like 1/10 of what came out of one of these cases, so you're going to get shavings all over. Anyway, a person could make their own, and I don't really see a reason why a person couldn't make, you know, a 30 caliber version, like a, you know, a 308, using you know, 30 caliber pellets or homemade pellets, you know, buckshot sized, with just the primer. Now this particular little Gizmo I don't think is really of a lot of interest to people that can hand load, because I've already tested 223 subsonic loads with like Tight Group and Clays and Trail Boss, and I've got them down around 22 long rifle, you know, 950,000 feet per second, something like that. And they're really easy to make, and they only use 3 grains of powder, give or take a bit. This, however, of course, like I said, uses no powder, so it's the cost of the primer and the cost of the pellet. And for small game, you know, like grouse or bullfrogs, or I'm not sure what else, maybe rabbits or something like that, you should be able to use something like this. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to show you that little product and let you know how that plan's going. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to shoot this in the next month or so, or if I'm going to have to wait till fall. Either way, I still think I'd like to be able to make some, you know, regular ones out of just regular 223 cases, if I can. Okay, that's it for now. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk to you later.